I was born in Berlin, and I start my study here in this school with 10, and then I go to the Komische Oper. I was 18, I think so, and since this time I'm here in Berlin. So I go a lot. I travel a lot outside of Berlin, but my basement is here. The spectrum of dance here in Berlin it's quite colorful. So we have a lot of different artists, dance artists here in the city. A lot of different styles, a lot of different ideas. Also a lot of different economic. I don't know in English the
conditions.
Yeah, conditions, right? So we have Staatsballett, so a big company, one of the biggest companies in Germany. We have also another big company with fixed contracts in Friedrichstadtpalast Berlin. So that's completely different to Staatsballett. And then we have a lot of little companies or little structures in the freie Szene. I think we have a lot here in Berlin. Yes, I think, or I feel that this kind of colorful dance life, it's growing up every year, step by step. A lot of years ago, I don't know how many, we have 3 professional companies here in the city. With a quite different profile, and now we have just one. Maybe that's the only thing that's coming from the artistic expressions going smaller than it's growing up. Before we had Komische Oper Berlin with its own company. We had.
You mean associated to a house, to a building, to a?
Yeah. This was a company. In a Komische Oper, in this theater, was an own company with Tom Schilling. He's one of the famous choreographers in the GDR. There was around 50 dancers. Then we have another company in Staatsoper Berlin, and then we have one company in Deutsche Oper in the western part. My way starts here in this school. I believe that the classical training, it's a good idea or method to train your body, just to that you have good skills. It's like a basement, and when you have a good basement like this, then I think you can open your mind or your body or whatever for a lot of other different things. Maybe you go in the freie Szene, or maybe you do something special or improvising, or you go in a company, in a theater, you get a fixed contract. So that's the philosophy also from this institute, to have a good basement in a classical way. So every day you have 1.5 hour classical ballet, and then you can put on the top a lot of different other styles. And so what we teach also here in the school: improvisation, jazz, modern, Graham, Horton, Limon, and all this. For example, you are a violin player. So then you are the player of the violin, and you have also the violin. And our philosophy is here that we are the player and the violin in the same moment. We are the instrument and the player. So that's why we give a lot of concentration about the violin, that the instrument is in a good shape, and everything's fine, and the sound is very clear. That's one part of our work, and then the other part is that we are play on this instrument, and so we do this in rehearsals or with repertoire. We study repertoire with choreographs together. We work together and we create some new pieces. We have also every year here we have a competition, a choreography competition for the students, and they create solos, duets, groups by own. This is also a part of to find your way, who you are like an artist, and what's your ideas and what's your idea for the future and the next step. And
what do you think about the understanding of dance that in the HZT happens?
It's a completely different way of dance thinking. Yeah, but it is also an important way. That's what I tried to say in the beginning. So it doesn't matter what is your philosophy, what is your way of your education and training and all this. I think every artist has the right to show the audience his ideas.
Of course. And in this school, for instance, do you also make sometimes exchanges with the HZT that these students can also learn these other forms?
No.
And why not?
Yeah, because that's we have this special way that we say, okay, classical dance is our basement. Also in a special style. This is the Vaganova school, and not another one. This is the Vaganova school. So that's just because that all the teachers speaks in the same language, the Vaganova style. So because it's also important for the students that not every teacher has another idea about classical dance. So this is our basement, and it's not compare, for example, with students from the HZT, because they don't do everyday classical ballet, and I think when they came, for example, here in a ballet class, they are completely lost, and that makes no sense. So for them and for us also. Maybe every dancer or every choreographer or every student has another view of this or another idea. What's my thinking of contemporary? For example, now we have a evening with 4 pieces in our repertoire, and the name of this evening is Contemporaries. The Contemporaries. That means, for this kind of concept, that Marco Göcke, Wayne McGregor, Mauro Candida, for us, they represent the contemporary choreographers. Maybe for a student from HZT, that's completely different, because for him is Marco Göcke, I don't know, something like ballet, because he used dancers, they came from ballet. He's quite modern, but he always or mostly he worked together with students or with ballet dancers or dancers like Stuttgart Ballet or Staatsballett. The dancers came from classical ballet. Also Wayne McGregor. So maybe this is always a point of view. What is contemporary? The meaning of freie Szene, of this word, means to be free. Freie Szene, free. I'm free. I'm free from any I'm my own boss. I have not a ballet director who say to me, do this and this and this, or this choreography. I'm free. I'm an artist. I'm free. So, but to be free, maybe on the other hand, means also that that not the government is here and give me every month the money, that I can be free. And for a professional dancer in a company or in a theater, I think he's also an artist, but he's not free like in the freie Szene. Yeah, but on the other hand, he get every month a salary, had a fixed contract. He have a social horizont for 1 year or 2 years, but he must realize as an artist what other artists create. That's the difference. So, and that's always the question: do you want to be free in all aspects or not? That's so we give when they have the examination, they have two certificates. One is that's called Bühnentänzer. That means all that what we give to them has to do with to dance on a stage, Bühnentänzer, and another certificate is they became a Bachelor of Arts. So here, and the whole education or the whole study is paid by the government. It's I think this is really expensive for one student 1 year. That costs around 20,000 euro, and in the end, for us, it's important that this time here in the school was so good that they have a real chance and a real possibility to catch a contract. Maybe it's not the only. That's not the most important thing, but they can also go in the freie Szene or make it's a freelancer projects. But most of them, or we try that most of them has the possibility to catch a fixed contract on a company or on a theater. We have 70 companies. State or community companies with fixed contracts here in Germany. Some of them, they go also to Europe, to France, to England.
If people enter the school being 9 or 10 years old, right, you said, does this mean that these people already with such a short age, they already know what they want to be as an adult? It's not a bit amazing that people already know what they want to become with 9 years old?
it's like this. They know something like what they wish to do. So they feel happy to move, to dance. But what is the professional or the profession in the end exactly? That's they find it out in this way from 10 to 18, and some of them also when they find out what is the meaning of this profession or the idea or how hard it is, some of them they say also, no, that's not my way. And that's okay, that's absolutely good, because this is a hard job. So when you dance on a classical bass, and you can't stay till that you are a pensionaire, yeah. So 35, 40, it's finished. Then you must have a new idea for your life. So you are right. A 10-year-old boy or girl knows that it's fun to dance, and they love it. And then when they start here every day, class, training, then they can find out it's still what they love or not.
And then, based on your experience, what happened with people when they turn 35 or 40? What did they do?
So I think most of them trying to stay in this area of everything has to do with ballet or dance.
Teaching, for instance.
Teaching, a ballet master. Yeah, mostly this. A lot of dancers make something with physiotherapy, or a good friend of mine. He study with the machines. Pilates, stott Pilates, or other things to protect your body and all this. And we have also I know also dancers. They study they go in a completely new way. So they start to be a lawyer. Or I know also one girl. She's a doctor now. That's also possible, but it's not so often. When you have this way of life to be a dancer, you have so much discipline, you have so much, you are so focused, and you know exactly when you wish to come on this point, what you have to do. I think this kind of character or this kind of thinking, it's helpful for every other job in the world.
What about when we talk about the physiognomy of the body? That in many cases these kind of techniques or skills are associated also with a very specific understanding of how the body should look like. Is this still true now in 2017 that, for instance, ballet is associated with thin, slim body, light body, or
not really, because if you look, so for example, Staatsballett, that's a real classical company now. They dance classical ballets, and so you can imagine when you have 32 white swans on stage, that this has a special kind of aesthetic of how must the body looks. Another example, Friedrichstadtpalast Berlin, They have also dances. All the dancers' basement is classical ballet there. They, for example, looks completely different. They are much taller. The girls much more feminine. Then you have other companies, for example, Eric Gauthier in Stuttgart. They are also again classical based, but they are much more sportive and not like a ballerina style. So I think every choreographer, every company, they say, okay, the basement from the dancers is classic, have not the same idea of the shape of the body. So maybe 50 years ago, when we have all the big companies are classic, and this time maybe it was more important that all the girls looking like a ballerina, and all the boys. So you can imagine this when you have white tights. Then it's not so bad when you have nice legs, for example. And this comes from classical ballet. But today, not every, I repeat myself, not every dancer who's trained everyday classic is in the evening on stage in a classical ballet. So I think that not in every case, but in some cases with some ideas, that you can bring social questions or ideas about a better world in art, on stage, on a picture, in music. I think that works. But it works more in a general way, not in a concrete. Oh, sorry. So that you can say something about Germany, Frau Merkel, and now Mr. Schulz, that you make a piece about this. Maybe this is not art, but I think you can transform also the humans. You can give a input. You can touch them to start to think about social themes. And when I'm getting older, I feel that I'm not just focused on dance and no, I'm not like this. So I like also other things in my life. For example, I build boats, and maybe sometimes this is good for artists not to stay like this. That you're still open-minded.